I want to see Dr. Umar and Nick Cannon's interview.
Why would God help black people destroy white supremacy just so we can replicate white supremacy?
Facts,
Doesn't make any
Brickashaw.
sense.
Facts.
Go back to being who you're supposed to be in the universe.
Yeah, I don't know what. I'm so glad I just missed the everything online era. Shit, like in the middle of college is when apps started to be a thing. I remember when I got to college, I still had a sliding phone with a keyboard when I got to college.
Hip hop, cancer, or culture? Black America is under demonic possession. I believe hip hop has been possessed by demonic entity. I believe the black church is possessed by demonic entity. I think snow bunny hoppers are possessed by demonic entity. I'm serious.
God.
I hear you.
Ain't
Once
that Nick Cannon? Don't
again,
Nick
a
Cannon
safe space
almost
and a brave
exclusively
place.
date mixed women?
Where it's not about canceling, it's about counseling. And there's so much going on with this individual. I mean, we always have the internet ablaze, lots of conversations, because this gentleman is not just a public figure. He is actually the doctor of clinical psychology, a certified school psychologist, an author, an educator. Would I say a school owner? A school
Owner, operator, principal, CEO, CAO, chief academic officer.
Boy, the school don't exist yet. You still talking about all these positions in the school ain't built and ain't functioning yet. Shut the hell up.
You heard it, and the King Kong of consciousness, the one and only
Absolutely.
Dr.
What up?
Umar
Yes,
Johnson.
sir.
Man, we keep going. Now, you're known for controversial statements.
Yes, sir.
And usually the hip hop community is rocking with you.
Yes.
But as of
Usually.
lately, you guys have, the hip hop community and yourself have come to a crossroad.
Yes, sir.
On a few issues. Specifically, you know, we recently celebrated the 50 years of hip hop. And
can we have a white goat?
Yes.
there's lots
and his name is Marshall fucking Mathers, nigga. Go eat a dick. I don't care.
Debates within that, but one of the more
I don't care.
prominent arguments, because we've been celebrating all that hip hop has done for our culture, and you've made the statement that hip hop has not done anything for the culture, but has maybe been a detriment to the black culture in many different areas. Would you care to expound on that? And again, I've often heard you say your favorite rapper is Tupac.
Tupac.
You've often, you're a fan of hip hop, as we know.
Absolutely. Grew up in it.
But you don't think hip hop is service the black community in the way that it should.
In order to properly respond to your question, we have to make sure we understand what culture is. Culture is supposed to be progressive, positive. Culture is supposed to reaffirm the principles and the belief system of a people and a community. No one should ever have to question if a part of the culture is dysfunctional, parasitic, or degenerative. If you even have to question that, then we have to question whether or not the thing we're talking about is still a part of our culture.
That's his definition, but I don't think you said two rich fuck niggas talking great. It says the definition of culture is the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively, and the customs, arts, social institution, and achievements of particular nation, people, or other social group. So, I ain't mad at his definition. He's talking about it's got to be progressive. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Culture supports the people, period. If it does not support the people, it's no longer culture, it's cancer. And so the question is hip hop a part of black culture, or is hip hop a cancer in black culture?
I don't think it's that black and white. There can be aspects of any part of culture that can be negative. They're like, I don't think it's, of course, since its inception, it wasn't negative, but it can be, and it was negative. It was not the creation, but early on it had its negative parts. You know what I'm saying? So that's always been there. Could you say it's got worse? Yes, I think it has gotten worse, but that's not all it is. And it's a fair conversation to have. Like, should the parts that's negative about the hip hop culture be expelled from it? That's a conversation that can be had. I ain't mad at that.
Wow.
More pointedly,
Nigga,
brother
say
Nick
something.
Cannon, if hip hop is black culture, is it possible that gangster rap is a cancer that has metastasized in hip hop to the point where it pretty much controls and dominates its direction? So can we cut out the cancer of gangster rap, or do we have to throw out the baby with the bathwater? Because at this point in history, are the two of them inseparable? Let me go a step further. Hip hop generates $16 billion annually. Performances, streams, merchandise. Are you trying to lead me to believe, not you, but the hip hop community? Or are they really trying to convince Dr. Umar Ifatunde that there's absolutely nothing wrong at all for a piece of black culture known as hip hop to generate $16 billion a year, the most influential musical form on the face of the earth, and there is no systemic or structural benefit to black people at all? I'm not swallowing that pill. If all these other cultures can benefit from hip hop,
I definitely I don't like the fact that artists are the ones that probably eat the least within the music industry, period. Hollywood, the people actually doing the music and stuff like that, they eat the least. Period. And that's across all genres and shit until they start to step outside of just making the music and then, you know, get their way to own shit. I think that's a problem within that's a capitalism problem. It's a worker problem because in a sense they're the workers and they're not reaping the benefits of their labor. And that's just something that comes along with capitalism. So he's made, of course this convo is about hip hop and that's why he's talking about it. But that in itself is a problem with capitalism. And I don't even like Dr. Umar, but I don't even disagree with what he's saying. I don't like him or a lot of what he says, but I don't have any strong disagreements with what he's saying right now.
If the music companies and moguls and CEOs and corporations can make all this money, why aren't you artists demanding that some of that money
that's the
get
problem.
redirected back to the black community?
And that's the real problem. It's like the like Brickashaw said, the middleman, like all the fucking record execs and shit, the people that's not doing shit but reaping the benefits of all of these artists label making all that money. It doesn't make sense when you think about it. It doesn't. It makes no sense. Now, where I will disagree with him is those people, that the artists that are making the money, they're enriching the black community when they bring it back to their families. Can they? He's gonna argue. I don't know if he will, but he's argued we need to build police stations and hospitals and schools and libraries and all that shit. Like black people don't have none of that, and that's not the only way to enrich the community. Is it a way? Yes, it is, but it's still benefiting 1% of people. Like, unless you're talking about moving away from capitalism and moving to communism, which I don't know if he's a capitalist. No, I'm sure Umar's a capitalist. So you're still only having certain amount of black people making all of the money if they build a hospital or build a school and shit. You want to build a school, that would be to you. You know what I'm saying? So people are making other people better off within their communities, and you know the ideal is that it's going to keep branching out over time. You know, that's the idea.
What has hip hop built? What problem has hip hop helped solve? What solutions has hip hop?
A culture isn't, the purpose ain't to solve anything. Like, just because it serves a purpose and it's mostly entertainment, if you want it to be more than that, then by all means you can want that. But hip hop wasn't created to solve the world's problems or black people's problems in itself. It's an art form.
Implemented into the black community.
Fashion is big in the black and hip hop community. What is it solved? It's You know what I'm saying? It doesn't that doesn't have to be everybody's goal. That's what you want. Yeah, it is goofy. That's what you want, Umar. And if you want that, fine, work towards it. You want everybody to be like, I'm finna go out here and make all black people rich. And like that's not everybody's goal.
To take us from where we are to where we need to be. And if you dare say that they don't owe us nothing because they're artists, they're rappers. It's not their job to fight racism, and I say nonsense.
Why? See, that's the problem. That's the problem. And I love how he pretends like we're not way better off than we've been ever. That's the issue too. He's still acting like we still in chains, but let him tell it these artists are.
Actors who stood up for us. Muhammad Ali, look what he did for us. Dick Gregory.
These people wanted to do it. That's all. What are you talking about? That doesn't make it their. That doesn't mean they're obligated. These people wanted to do that, and there's still a handful out of all artists and athletes. It's still a handful. Like you act like you finna run off a list of 1,000 people. You know what I'm saying?
Stood up for us. Muhammad Ali.
I already said he's not completely wrong.
Dick Gregory. Harry Belafonte. We could go on and on. Nina Simone. We could go on and on of black people using their art as a weapon of liberation.
Yes, nobody. That's fine, but you're just because people have done it doesn't mean everybody has to do it. That's like they've done it. That doesn't mean everybody has to do it. Period.
So nobody's going to tell me that the gangster rapper, the hip hop artist, has no obligation to the black community, especially because, brother Nick,
that doesn't logically follow at all. Because you can name artists that were activists or athletes that were activists, that doesn't mean all artists and athletes have to be activists. That doesn't make sense. It's not. Nobody said they can't do it. It's just that everybody doesn't choose to.
The content of your music for at least 25 of your 30 years, at least 25 of your 50 years, half of hip hop history. Our children have been indoctrinated with musical content that sexually objectifies and denigrates black women, that pushes European materialism and conspicuous consumption, that glamorizes, glorifies, and promotes black on black crime, mass incarceration, and that has painted a public image of black men that has helped society, government, police, and white power structure to destroy not only the image, but the lives of black men. So when I say what has hip hop done, especially given the negative images that y'all have sold into the minds of fatherless black boys, I have a right to know what hip hop has done. But more importantly, I have a right to know what hip hop is going to do. Because, brother Nick, my biggest issue ain't what they've done. We can't go back. But in celebrating the 50th year of hip hop last year, I ain't heard a single conversation from no one with regard to what should hip hop be doing the next 50 years. Anything that is against the best interests of black people needs to be redeemed or destroyed. Fix hip hop. Make it what it should be, or throw it into the ash can of African history.
I'm not gonna sit here and force myself to disagree. Like I as much as I love hip hop, gangster rap, all I don't love all aspects of hip hop, but I like a lot of what hip hop is. But it's just I love my music, and I guess if everybody received it the way I do, I guess it would be okay, but that's not the case because I don't take aspects of hip hop and apply it to real life. Like I could rap about all the gang activity, I could hear it and not think twice about it, all the drugs, all the demeaning of women, and none of it is internalized, and I don't display that behavior in any way, but that's not everybody. So the problem is that people do take that shit and try to live it out in real life and shit like that. And it's fucked up. It is fucked up. But even saying like Tupac was your favorite rapper, you know, that's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. So it's just like you may not like that song maybe, but your favorite rapper engaged in the very type of hip hop that you claim you want to be destroyed. the part of hip hop that you don't want to be a part of black culture, your favorite rapper engaged in it too. You don't even have a favorite rapper. Your favorite rapper isn't even somebody that didn't engage in what you think isn't acceptable. So I don't even know how serious I could take you with that.
Heavy words. So in that, you spoke.
That's true, Tron. I don't know if you was here when I said that. I said these people that are making the money and are doing things that are, activism, they're doing it on a small scale. He wants there to be a conglomerate of hip hop like the NAACP that wants to be out like, hey, y'all, from now on in hip hop, we ain't rapping about drugs. We ain't rapping about killing niggas. We ain't rapping about fucking bitches. And let's go from there. Like, that's just not going to happen. You're never going to get everybody to agree on that. It's just not a realistic vision, And you're right. I think that's what he wants, but I just don't see that happening.
Of past entertainers who utilize their art for liberation. But you also shared that Tupac is your favorite rapper.
Yes, he is.
Damn, he just said it.
Activist.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I like when I say something and then I'm knowing when I'm crazy for the thought and they say the same thing.
True liberator.
Yes.
He speaks of it in his music.
Yes.
There's also other people who are cut from a similar cloth and exude that same energy, like the Nipsey Hussles of the world. And then even there's as the culture,
he ain't gonna speak on the. That's why I fucked your bitch.
There's so many prominent liberating voices that we've seen that have helped the black community specifically in their art and what they've put together.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have the Tupacs, we wouldn't have the Nipseys, we wouldn't have the Kendricks, we wouldn't have the Chuck D's or the KRS-Ones who have inspired so many movements if it wasn't for the culture. So in the same way that you acknowledge, Nina Simone and Harry Belafonte, we have to acknowledge those individuals that are truly creating movements in pathways for the next generation with those mindsets. Now, I understand you say it's not an even playing field because
it absolutely not. Because I don't know too many rappers who have done the kind of things that a Dick Gregory or a Harry Belafonte have done in terms of funding grassroots movements to fight racism head on. Nah, who done that?
You see what I'm saying? This is the problem with Umar. He wants everybody to move how he wants them to move. He don't want anybody to do what they can do, what they're capable of, what they love, what their interest is, what they think is beneficial, what they want to do to help black people, what their form of activism is. He wants you to do what he wants to do. Fuck everything else. I think it was I don't know if it was the Breakfast Club or Joe Budden podcast, one of them interviews, he'd be all over the damn place, where he kept hammering like, what have you done specifically for the black community? Because we don't have any schools or churches or blah, blah. I mean, schools or police stations or hospitals and blah. It's like, bro, so now it's not just like help black people and fight racism. It's you have to build a bank. You have to build a school. You have to build a hospital. Bro, you do that shit. That's your footprint for activism. Everybody can't build schools and hospitals to help further the black community. People are fighting their fights in different ways. You know jiu-jitsu, he know Muay Thai. Y'all fucking fuck it up where y'all fuck it up at, and we all gonna get there. Hopefully, we gonna get there one day. But you can't just dismiss it because it's not what the fuck you like. You do what you want to do, and you help other people do what they want to do. If you really want to help Nipsey get a block of black businesses. You know what I'm saying? You help Kendrick fucking fund feeding LA. Whatever the hell Kendrick out there doing. Like, stop with this you not doing it my way so it don't matter shit. That shit is like disheartening.
There's a few. There's definitely a few. There's
They too busy
That too. He's so busy claiming he don't want to take no money from no white people, but you don't care about getting your school up and running. I mean, to be fair, I get that feeling of being able to say it, even though you get donations, you claim you get donations, you don't know the race of any of those people that's giving them to you, that's anonymous. But that's neither here nor there. Like you said, bro, get that fucking school open and then let's see how it functions. You have a lot of shit to say. And you know what's funny about him is he would argue all of the things that he's done for black folks, and 9 times out of 10, it's on a local level. most of what he did is probably on a personal, interpersonal relationship. It ain't on no grand scale. Yet you're mad at these rappers because they're not doing the type of activism that you want them to do.
Eminem is the GOAT. They ain't got time to do nothing else.
He really want to talk about this Eminem because the GOAT shit.
There's definitely a few that have put their.
It's funny though because I forgot about Nick and Eminem. Well, Eminem ain't go back and forth, but him dissing M, he keep bringing him up.
Like you said, maybe not having, but the banners, the Killer Mikes, those individuals, and
people like Killer Mike, like you gonna discredit people like Killer Mike? Come on, bro.
The Commons of the world, the Black Thought.
And I don't want us to deflect from what hip hop has not done systematically to point out individuals who have done something.
You see what I'm saying? He wants all of hip hop to be one thing that does what he wants them to do. Everybody want to claim white people do this shit and they don't. Like, it's not true. Not even Jewish people, for all you fucking conspiracy theorists. This is not how people move. Like, black people, we have our plight, and there's some things most of us can relate to on a certain level. But I'm black, and I do want better for black people. But Umar, I don't agree with almost any of the ways that you go about it. That don't make you better than me. Like, what I think will work, what I want to do to help black people is different than what you want to do. And I'm not knocking. I am knocking you, but I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong. I just don't agree with it at all. So you got your thing. These people got their thing. Stop saying that hip hop as a whole got to move and do what I want them to do. Like, bro, stop it, bro. Nobody operates like that. Nobody except immediate families, or small organizations. Hip hop is a genre of music. It's not an organization.
The only reason why, because
that's
you
just like somebody saying Dr. Umar is out here fighting to save black children from special ed and ADHD, right?
Right.
But you cannot say black psychology is out here fighting.
Indeed.
No, Dr. Umar is. And
you see what I'm saying? But nothing works like that. Like I said, no other race or ethnicity moves like that. Nobody. Even people within the same ethnic culture don't do things for the whole culture. Like the stereotype where black people be like, Mexicans, they'll all live together in one house. It'd be 17 of them, and each generation live in one house. Every Mexican don't move like that. So you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't know what he think this is.
Well, you follow what I'm saying?
Right.
So we got to make sure that we don't try to.
I was only saying that because you said, when you spoke of the great Dick Gregory and Harry Belafonte.
Yeah, he just contradicted himself too. You could say, Umar, you ain't saying black psychology. You just named Muhammad Ali, Harry Belafonte, Dick Gregory. Those are people, and they're not even in the same umbrella. So why are you now all of a sudden it's like, what are you gonna say? Like you said, Umar, I'm guessing you want to put yourself in the category of Nina Simone and Dick Gregory and shit. He naming KRS-One and Tupac and or whoever else he's comment and all them and Killer Mike. He's naming all these people as individuals that help the people around them, which is the goal. You want to uproot hip hop and have everybody move the same, which that's not realistic and it'll never happen.
There's also individuals within hip hop that do have those missions. Who have said
some good things.
Yes.
Who have done a couple of soft activism things.
We talked about soft activism.
He's belittling it. He's belittling what people do because it's not what he likes. This is where he loses me.
Hard activism from no gangster rapper or no hip hop artist in a while. KRS-One is a jewel.
Yes.
KRS-One is an exception.
Yes.
You have a few others.
Right.
Especially during the great heyday of positive hip hop. From about the mid 80s to the mid 90s before gangster rap took over the genre. You had a lot of positive, the X-Clans, the Poor Righteous Teachers, the Queen Latifahs. I mean, we had a whole era
of
movement. Nothing but conscious artists. And even the Playboys and the gangsters still had positive lyrics to them. So even when you look at a Big Daddy Kane or a Rakim, it might have been half gangster, but it was half conscious too.
Yeah,
so you couldn't listen to no
the
artist.
5%ers.
You couldn't really listen to an artist and not get at least 2 or 3 conscious songs.
So that's where I want to take it because you made an amazing point about culture versus cancer.
Culture versus cancer.
And we definitely, in order to grow the culture, you have to remove the cancer.
Got to remove the cancer.
So what needs to be removed from hip hop, in your opinion?
Gangster rap, completely.
But that's a little too vague. I want you to dig a little bit deeper, just in that sense, because even the term gangster rap, which is
rap that degenerates black women, promotes black on black violence, conspicuous consumption, dysfunctional, irresponsible behavior. And I'm sure the definition can be broader.
Right.
But those are some of the things that I just think of at the top.
And that's so you're
the sexual objectification and the black on black crime is the two most important pieces.
And so specifically, because at this point you're just talking merely about symbolism and lyrics.
Content.
Yeah. So
because content is what conditions our children.
But you would also say that the culture is bigger than just the content.
But remember what I said earlier.
Right.
Gangsta rap dominates hip hop. Mainstream commercial hip hop is dominated by gangsta rap, drill rap, all these negative rap forms.
No, I disagree. I don't think drill rap had a pop, but it wasn't the dominant force of hip hop. Like think about the biggest times of hip hop. Like some of the biggest, when you think about the biggest names and eras of hip hop, you got people like NWA, which was gangster rap, but they was going mostly, they was trying to go after the police and white people. They had they shit with niggas too, but you had that NWA, you got like Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Eminem, 50 Cent. That was when the real gangster rap became mainstream with 50 Cent. Then you got people like Drake, Kendrick, who else had, like I would think even when you look at the mural of the faces of hip hop, where mostly anybody could look at it and see faces, most of them aren't drill rap or gangster rap. I would say about 85% of the biggest names in hip hop, the poster child of hip hop, most of them aren't gangster rappers. They have moments, they have pops, like I said, with 50 Cent. But what hip hop encompasses is not mostly gangster rap. It's just been popular before. Drill rap isn't the face and the biggest form of hip hop that everybody knows. No, I didn't say 50 Cent created it. I said he made it like that was like a new wave of gangster rap where, shit like when 50 Cent G Unit was a thing, like that's when gangster rap really, Bone Thugs, I don't know if I even really, really, really consider Bone Thugs gangster rap. I don't know. Yeah, they gangster rap, but it was still different. Like they gangster rap and 50 Cent gangster rap was different. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I would agree with that. I think that at a point in time, that was the case. But now the genre is so broad now that even currently, the women objectifying, and even now we're at a place where women are objectifying women in their music.
True.
And
but the men were doing it way longer than them.
No, absolutely. But like women right now probably have the most prominent voice in hip hop. If you go to a nightclub right now as a DJ, I know the 80% of the hip hop songs that are played are women MCs.
I don't know because
the club music, women is dominating the club scene and the lounge scene. Their music is dominant in those areas. Yeah.
Too many women MCs who are top 10 sellers.
No, right now.
That's not the fucking point, Umar. You sound like a fucking outsider. What are you talking about?
Probably have the most prominent voice in hip hop. If you go to a nightclub right now as a DJ, I know 80% of the hip hop.
A lot of females' music is dominant in the club scene for real.
Women MCs.
Unless when they playing old shit, then that's maybe is different. But when they playing more up to date music, it be women.
No, because too many women MCs who are top 10 sellers.
That doesn't matter. You don't have to be a top 10 seller to have a hit song.
Now again, because there's levels to it. Obviously, like you have your superstars, which are and a lot of them are that's your Kendricks, your Drakes, and we're just talking currently.
Nicki.
Like we have the individuals that are the superstars, but then everybody else, you got your Meg Thee Stallions, you got your Glorilla, you got your Nicki Minaj, you got your Cardi B.
Yes.
These are women in hip hop right now are the most dominant, specifically in the messaging that's perpetuated out there, which is also liberating in itself because it's representing female empowerment.
Not if the content is destructive, it ain't liberating. But even with that being said, though, do you or do you not agree that there needs to be a purge within hip hop of gangster rap?
I don't know what Nick finna say, but I just don't. Again, the problem is I can listen to this shit and keep it moving without my day without ever thinking about engaging in the activities of what I'm rapping, I'm listening to. That's not how I operate, and I know that's not everybody. But to get rid of gangster rap just feels like, ugh. I think maybe if we started to maybe get people to understand that the problem is people see rappers and hip hop artists as who they are for the music is who they are in real life, so they got to portray that. But you can't. You can't be a real gangster and a rap artist. You're either going to be dead or in jail. So if we start to maybe separate them as like, this is me as an artist, as a character, like an actor, like nobody walks up to like Denzel and thinks he's really like gonna pull out a gun as the Equalizer and be a bodyguard and shit like that. You know, like we know that that's who he is for his roles. So I think maybe a better solution would be for people to see these people as characters that's trying to entertain you and leave it at that. I think that's, yeah, you missed it, eBay. I think it'll be better to separate them as people from their music. That's what has to happen more so than get rid of gangster rap. I think that's a better solution.
I don't like the term gangster rap.
What do you want to call it?
I mean,
Right,
you know,
what do
that's-
you wanna
self-destruction
call it?
rap?
well, Tupac called it reality rap.
Okay, reality rap. Does there need to be a purge?
Look, he like, I don't care what you call it. That's true. It's not about the term. It's about what the message is. That's how I move too. Like, you could call it what the fuck you want, but if we talk about the same thing, then that's what I'm talking about. It don't matter.
Because I don't need to be told what I already live.
Why not? That's every music. That's every art form.
We
It's a
ain't talking
reflection of
about them.
it's a reflection of our society.
That's not who we are as a people, though. I don't care what.
Well, hip hop doesn't represent black people. Hip hop represents hip hop. And if that's what you own, then that's a problem because every black person doesn't resonate or subscribe to hip hop culture. And that would be your problem, not black people's problem, Umar. Don't assume because everybody black, they're entrenched in hip hop culture. Now, there's something to be said if other people perceive it as such, but people carrying themselves a certain way gives off more information. Because if you're a bigot and prejudiced, then that's just what you are, regardless, no matter what I do. But if people judge me off how I behave and my, and shit like that, then you can't just assume that because people black, they fall into hip hop culture.
Society does. Who are we? We cannot lose ourselves in what America is, because America is Sodom and Gomorrah. Who are we?
Well, I mean, the music is telling you who we are.
And what is that?
I mean, it's all the things that you dislike.
Absolutely. Purge it.
Nick, what the fuck?
But
Who's
isn't that? Because that again, that to me, and I know this isn't what you're doing, but it's coming off very Cosby-esque in that sense of when he got on his pedestal and was like, you got to pull up your pants and you got to do this and you got to do that, opposed to saying, here are the things that in which we need to do, where obviously, which I know you do when it comes to education, and getting back into those elements, but just to point the fingers at the young people or the culture,
No.
and just to say, we got to purge it, we got to...
young people, because you got old people in hip-hop still pushing the same narrative.
Well, okay.
You follow what I'm saying?
The energy
you got
of culture.
50-year-olds still rapping gangster rap.
Right.
This ain't just no young thing.
Well,
it's the culture, period.
So in that, when you
the problem is, instead of trying to confront the culture, Brother Nick, we try to make every excuse we can to absolve hip-hop of responsibility for the negative messages that is sent into the black community.
It's definitely sent negative messages into the black community. But you don't think
on top of the negative messages, it's a $16 billion industry, and the black community don't benefit from it at all.
Now, that's the real issue.
Yeah, that's the real issue. That is an issue. I don't. It's more than just the black community, but the people that's generating that much money is not seeing half of it. That's the problem.
The content and the fact we don't get none of the cash. They're both real issues, and they need to be addressed.
But you do, because you also said it's...
And I've had rappers take issue with me. And when I said, what has hip hop done to help? I'm not getting no real answers. Give me an institution. 16 billion.
See, he wants it to be what he wants. He does not care about if it actually is helping black people or their communities. See, listen to what he's saying.
Done to help. I'm not getting no real answers.
I'm not getting no real answers. You're getting real answers. You don't like them.
Give me an institution.
An institution. The only way, according to Umar, you can help black people is to build an institution. That's the only way. If that doesn't happen, it's unacceptable. This is what I was saying. I think it was the Joe Budden podcast where he was saying the same shit, and I don't like that. You disqualify everything people does if it's not what you want. And you're only making this argument is because you yourself are making a school that has not been shown yet and it's been like fucking 10 years and you ain't got nothing to show for it. I ain't gonna say nothing, but the shit ain't no closer to being built.
$16 billion a year, and y'all ain't built a school?
See what I'm saying?
With $500,000.
Why do you have to build a school to help black people? That's not the only way. You think building a school is gonna help black people as a collective? Like, you're not even appreciating the steps people are taking to do things. You're ignoring everything people do because it's not what you like. And when you build your school, you have to show a good end product. You have to, all your boys need to be at the top of the state, their state. They need to all be at the top of their state. They need to all get full rides to whatever colleges they want. And they all need to go into some career field that's highest paying or a high production or a high intellect, whatever. Because this is a standard that you're trying to create that if it's not absolute tip-top perfect, then it ain't good enough. So that's what has to happen if your school ever gets fucking open.
Watches and sneakers, and you come from a ghetto with no real institutions? Negro, please.
How do we get there?
I think the culture is going to have to be self-cleansing and self-correcting.
No, he's saying, how did we end up in those projects?
But I don't see that happening. You know
what did he say? How do we get there?
Institutions? Negro, please.
How do we get there?
Oh, how? I don't know if he said did we or do we.
Is going to have to be self-cleansing and self-correcting. But I don't see that happening. You know why? Because even the positive rappers don't have the courage or the guts to hold the gangster rappers accountable. They would have been done it. They could have been said, we're not doing that in this culture. You gatekeep in a...
What the fuck would that do when they're not the most popular? And I'm sorry, like, that the conscious rappers aren't the most profitable in the genre. What do you mean we're not doing that in here? What the fuck gonna happen? What is that gonna do to somebody that's making the music they want to make and is making their money? What the fuck is that gonna do? Again, you don't really care about people doing what they can to help. You want everybody to do it your way.
Culture.
Right.
It's like the Italian mafia. When the five families was warring,
right.
You know what they said? They had rules.
Right.
No women, no children, no old people.
Right.
No women.
Again, y'all notice the Italian mafia. This is a small group of Italians. It's not every Italian. Hip hop is a genre of music with thousands of people operating. And it's not, to be fair, again, I do have an issue with record execs. I have an issue with labels. These people they're operating under a genre of art that there's nobody can contain and control a genre of music. You can't contain it because let's say you get 99% of rappers that do conscious rap, don't rap about none of the stuff he said he wants to be exiled from hip hop. Say 99% do. That 1% that don't. Let's say 9%, one person still does gangster rap or whatever, demean women. If people listen to it, you can't stop them or nobody gonna care about the 99% that don't do it. And there's an argument to be made if you don't hear it, you won't like it. I don't know, but since we already know hip hop exists in its form, if you got rid of a big segment of it, who's to know if it'll even generate the same amount of music? I'm not saying that people don't like music that's more positive and uplifting, but you also have to understand if we get to that point where everybody stops doing it and everything is Krispy Kreme and perfect and there's no mentioning of violence and demeaning women and blah, 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 who the fuck gonna want to listen to music that we're all happy and we like? You get what I'm saying? Like, there's no emotion in all positive music. Y'all get what I'm saying? I bet he couldn't do it either, Tron.
No children. If you kill a woman, a child, or an elder, even if it's accidentally, you die.
Right.
Yeah, and again, the mafia is a small group of people. Like, are you comparing the mafia to hip hop as a genre? It's literally an illegal underground organization. Of course they got rules. They have to operate under the pretense of we can't get caught. That's why you don't kill women, children, and whatever other one he said. Women, children, and something.
No women, no children, no old people.
No old people.
No women,
women,
no
children, old
if
people.
You kill a woman.
Y'all all operating illegally. They're doing illegal. First of all, for you to even, first of all, you want to talk about hurting the community, you're referencing a group of people that did illegal activity. Come on.
Child or an elder.
I didn't even realize that.
Accidentally, you die.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
You gotta have rules.
So do we kill people that don't do what you want to do? Is that your suggestion?
What are the internal rules? Because we know white folks benefit and exploit and dominate the genre.
Again, he keeps saying that it's not about white folks. It's people that's in the music business. It's not white people. All white people ain't reaping the benefits of these record execs.
What are the internal rules that we are imposing upon ourselves within the hip hop community?
Yeah, the hood has to disappear for us to not experience it or to be able to rap about it. Yes, you're right. And that's what I'm saying. He's ignoring the groundwork that people are doing. He's like, we got to build a school. It's like, then what? Like, sir, we have to get out of these circumstances to not have to live them to then rap about them. That's what's happening. And then I think I don't know if you heard me earlier, that's why I said if at that point we could get us up out of the circumstances we're in, then when people rap about this shit, if they still rapped about it, they would better be able to separate the artist from their who they are in real life. It's like, oh, this is just a character that makes this music, but this isn't any real reflection of reality. It's just an art form that I appreciate. And then maybe people wouldn't feel like they have to engage in that activity.
To change the trajectory of the messages in the content.
I think people are fearful that
and I don't think Nick Cannon is intelligent, and I'm not claiming to be more intelligent than Nick Cannon. I don't want him to come off that way, but I don't think he's the right person to have this kind of conversation with Umar, because to me, I'm saying shit that I think is obvious. That's a good retort to Umar, but I don't feel like Nick is saying any of it. He even fumbled the Tupac thing. He was like, Tupac was an activist rapper. You didn't even mention that Tupac had music that was demeaning women and promoted violence to other black people. You just didn't even say that, and it seems so obvious.
Or that overall change, people wouldn't consume it. People wouldn't embrace it.
Money, right? Money.
Or even just they just
see again. Do you want to be a communist? And if you do, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. But do you believe in capitalism or not? Because
it falls on deaf ears.
If I don't act like a Negro in my music, it might not sell.
But again,
you said in my music, it
falls on deaf ears.
If I don't act like a Negro in my music, it might not sell.
Gang.
But again,
you say they might not listen to it. That's what you just said.
Right.
If it's positive, they might not listen to it. So if they're not listening to it, you ain't getting no ratings, you ain't getting no streams, you ain't getting no sales.
Can we go spiritual for a second?
So basically, you are willing to sell the community down the drain to make money.
So can we go spiritual for a second?
Let's go.
Because if we're just talking about energies, we know people are more likely to consume a low frequency.
Oh God, here you go with that shit, the low frequency and the high frequency, because they're operating on a low vibrational level, bro. Come on.
Then elevated frequency, because that's where the majority of the people are, and it's for whatever reason, low frequencies vibrate a different an attraction that we all can. It's easier to do bad. It's easier to embrace the negative. So when there's a few, as we spoke, that will elevate to a higher frequency, it's the majority is never going to assimilate to that, because that's rare. It's hard to get to that space. So if the masses are down here, the masses want to shake their ass, the masses want to talk about overindulgence in being intoxicated in whatever substance, and that again, because you talk about financially where the culture resides, even whether we're talking religion, whether we're talking consciousness, it's always going to be more difficult to get the masses to elevate than to say, you know what, well, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and make something where they shake their ass. I'm gonna go ahead and give them something, because everybody like to have a little drink after work, so we're gonna make the song about drink even though we know it's poison.
Here's the thing that we got to be clear on, Brother Nick. The responsibility of an artist is not just to reflect the reality that they have experienced. The responsibility of an artist is to project a new reality that you want the people to embrace. Do you follow?
Not necessarily if they don't want to. Like I don't like this idea that he wants everybody to think and like him and do what he wants them to do. Like that's not any obligation that an artist has. You just want them to have it.
Follow me?
Right.
And a painter who lives in a ghetto
Right.
doesn't just paint about rape. They don't just paint about poverty. They don't just paint about single motherhood. They just don't paint about police brutality.
And rappers don't just paint about what their circumstances either. He's pretending that rappers don't still talk about where they want to be. That happens too. So don't pretend like that's all that happens. A lot of artists rap about what they see themselves doing. Or sometimes it's hard to see yourself doing that if you're in such a bad state. But a painter, I don't think it's easy to compare the two.
They also paint an organized community. They paint a flourishing neighborhood.
Those are such different skills.
My job is to get your attention by reflecting your reality and then projecting to a new earth, to a new way.
Some of them do
reality.
that.
Are you following me?
Some of them do that. And some of them do that. But everybody has a different lane. Everybody can't do the same thing, Joe. Everybody can't do the same thing.
A gangster rapper says, I'm only talking about what I lived.
No.
First of all,
not always.
half y'all don't live it no more. So when y'all get money, y'all leave that life behind. So that's an excuse because you don't live it no more. So stop lying. That's number one. But number two, now that you got the people's attention, why not project a new reality for the people?
I know, right? Nobody's painting that because even if it happened, first of all, that don't happen to most people. And even if it did, they wouldn't paint about it.
What is the responsibility of the hip hop artist, the gangster rapper in particular, to project a new reality to their community? That's why I'm most disappointed. I don't see them using hip hop as a tool of political, economic, and cultural empowerment. I don't see that.
Right.
Because that's not what they. I'm not. There's rappers that do it, but do you want all of hip hop to just turn around, stop everything, and be like, all right, black people, we're gonna rap about living in 5-bedroom homes in the suburbs and we're not gonna kill each other. I don't get, like, it's just, I'm not saying it's not possible for us to be out of the circumstances, but it's like it's gotta be organic, bro. It's gotta be organic. I don't know. It's just the thing is, I don't disagree with the idea that hip hop has its bad apples. I don't disagree with that on its face, but this idea that just uproot it, flip it on his head, and make it something it's not just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what I don't see how this could ever work in any pragmatic way.
It's being used as a tool of conspicuous consumption, black female degradation, black on black crime, irresponsible behavior, mass incarceration, marijuana addiction. Why y'all not using this tool as a positive means of evoking change? And you have your KRS One, you have Nas, you have some of them out there, but the general direction of hip hop,
But that's what
is not about saving the black community.
So
that's a lie.
if the majority of the people are on this frequency, yes, you're gonna get.
But hip hop can raise the frequency by changing the
Yeah,
message.
eBay, that's a good thing. That's a good that's actually, I think that's effective. Like, and that's why I was saying earlier, I don't know if you was here, but like, we need to, the whole record label and record exec thing needs to go. Like, I think one thing that is actionable is if black people said, we stepping away from all these labels and we finna have our own shit. I think that that's possible because once, if every black person stepped out of these labels, stepped away as a collective, almost all, they're going to lose so much fucking money and they're going to be scrambling. And it would still be in the hands of still a select few black people, but who those people would be and what they'll do with the money, we don't know. You know, if Drake made every penny that he had that goes to people above him, would he help black communities? Beyonce, would she? I'm not saying she won't. Would she? You know what I'm saying? Would she build a school? Because even if that did happen and they don't build a school or build a hospital like Umar says, he's gonna still be upset with them. I don't know.
Art is influenced by, and art influences the people. It's a bi-directional. We influence the art influences us.
Because as someone who is out here on the circuit, you're teaching, you leading, activism strong.
Mhm.
You know the uphill battle.
Yeah, eBay, I don't know if you was here, but I was saying like this is all problems with capitalism either way. So that's why I said if Umar is a communist, then cool. Just say that and you make a little bit more sense. But even with the idea that black people do their own thing, if we're still underneath the umbrella of capitalism, there's still only a select few people that's gonna thrive the most. And then everybody else under them is just gonna get those scraps. So I'm not a communist, but it's just like if that's your stance, cool, it makes sense. But it's still a select few. Just like now, there's a select few black people that's in the 1%. And if you remove yourselves from white people and still only a few black people, that's the 1%. And I don't know if you're gonna put a gun to their head and be like, build a school for black people, build a bank for black people. If that's not what you're gonna do, then I don't see this really ending any differently, you know?
And even with intellectuals in the conscious community in what you face.
Mhm.
When now we're talking about a community that is for pure entertainment and usually geared towards our young people to try to invoke edutainment or an ideology of intelligence into something where we're ultimately just trying to enjoy ourselves.
Okay, why does enjoyment have to come at the cost of community desecration? Who says enjoyment?
See, like you said, Tron, it's just not, he's skipping the part that these people are in these circumstances to why they're now rapping about it. He's not even trying, he's blaming hip hop on damn near black people being disproportionately impoverished. He's not even addressing where this shit came from. He's jumping, he's trying to build the building from the top down. Like, you have to start down here. Where's the issue, bro? It's a bottom up problem. This is a bottom up problem. You can't go to the top of the crop of the black people that made it out of the worst circumstance and then tell them like, all right, now y'all flip everything that you did to make you successful and bring all black people up now. Like, no, bro, you got to fix the issue from where it started, bro. And then everything that's happened up to this point, we just got to push up until it's out of the picture. Like, you can't take everything that these people built, flip it on its head and expect everybody to be regular. Like, oh yeah, it just doesn't, it don't work like that.
Has to be negative. Why can't it be positive?
Well, as you know, I'm playing devil's advocate in this space.
Yes.
But if I'm an MC, if
Yep.
I'm a rapper, and I'm hearing Dr. Umar, I'm watching this, and I'm like, one, I don't relate to this dude.
They relate to me.
No, I'm just saying,
I got you.
playing devil's
They
advocate.
all relate to me.
Like,
They regurgitate my talking points.
Boy, stop.
These rappers
yeah, but I'm just saying,
that mention me, they know who I am.
go with me for a second.
I got you.
In the sense of, this is another old head who's talking all that conscious stuff, but I'm out here getting money, talking about, you know, these chicks. I'm out here getting money, talking about this weight that I'm moving, these guns that I'm toting.
This is a good point. I hope he addresses this head on. Like he's saying, it's some people that's living good. What about what Umar's saying is going to resonate with them? He needs to. I hope he answers this directly.
Everybody's loving it. And this brother just doesn't understand what I'm going through, because now I'm putting food on my family's table. I'm making my music, which is getting me out of the lifestyle where I actually may have been.
That's a good point.
Wanting to resort to violence and poison my community with drugs. So at least I'm using this tool to get me and my people out of the hood by becoming an artist that's talking about it.
Tron, that's a good point, because like you just saying, entertainment is an escape. When I play video games, I don't want a video game that's like a one-to-one to real life. I don't want a video game that's all positive. I want to overcome something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a good point. Like, you don't always want to consume stuff that's reflective of what's going on around you necessarily.
But there's no way an individual who all he knows is the block, all he knows is the street, to just jump out and start attempting to be conscious, or attempting to be a intellectual in a space that all I'm speaking of is what I know. I can't be Dr. Umar. I don't know how to do what Dr. Umar is doing. So all I know is I know how to make chicks shake their ass. I know how to talk about, you know, my guns. I know how to talk about these drugs that I'm moving, my gang culture. That's all I know.
That same artist, and most artists don't make a lot of money, as you know. That same artist, if he's forced to get a job to take care of his child, he has to go work for the white man. The white man gonna tell him how to dress.
Wait, what? I feel like I feel like I'm gonna listen to him, but it just seems like it has nothing to do with what Nick is saying. But let's see.
White man gonna tell him how to act. The white man gonna tell him how to talk. The white man gonna tell him what to do. Why doesn't he have the same difficulty transitioning from being a full-time gangster rapper to a full-time employee at a white business? They have no.
What the fuck is that? What is that response? Why did you have to invoke white people? I don't get how that. Y'all, I'm finna get a headache because that was such an evasion of the question. If say that man did lose his rap career and had to work, who's to say he can't turn around and work for a black person? So that in itself didn't make any sense to what Nick is asking you. How can somebody that is doing right by their family, doing well on their own, supposed to listen to what you say and just change everything about their lives based off what Umar says, even though what he's saying don't make sense to me? I can't relate. My family good. I'm good. People around me good. What the fuck does it, if he lost his job and had to work for a white person, why can't he do what? He could lose his job and work for black people. So now what? Now what? How does that address what he said?
No trouble pulling their pants up. No trouble using standard English. No trouble.
What, man? Fuck is you talking? But I never changed. Listen, code switching is not about using standard English. It's just that people won't understand you if you talk a certain way to different groups of people. I don't even talk to my mama the same way I talk to my friends, but she black. Like I can't say everything that I will really say. Like he said, Euro stepped. Like come the fuck on.
Trouble dropping the profanity. Why is it so hard?
This is such, oh my God, this is not addressing the question. This, it don't make sense because if he lost everything and had to work a regular job, he still got to do what he got to do to provide for his family. So what the fuck is this? Addressing what Nick said, how somebody can relate to you if they're doing what they need to do for their family. It's still the same. What are you talking about?
To change the content of your music for your community.
Because the community
but you can change your whole behavior.
Because the community don't want it, right? Is you gonna
work for a white man? You know why?
Why?
Because you don't value your community. You couldn't care less. You're going to make money and get rich by any means necessary.
See what I'm saying? He can't, like, I want to see if he's a communist because, and again, I don't even give a fuck if you are, but you can't have this, you can't be a capitalist, which Umar seems to be a capitalist. He don't even do shows unless he gets fucking paid. So for you to be advocating for all this black people, this and that, and care about money, you don't even do interviews without getting paid, motherfucker. So now I'm actually getting mad because Joe Budden used to always talk about like, yeah, we gonna pay to get Umar up here. Umar don't do shows unless he get paid or unless the platform is bigger than him. No, I'm sorry. He only does interviews that not get paid if the platform is bigger than him or big enough for him to reach more people. If you smaller than Umar, he is not going on your platform without getting paid. He is getting paid for his appearances. You're a capitalist. Stop trying to tell everybody to drop what the fuck they're doing to uplift the black community because you don't even go uplift your black community by using your fame and name to help they grow their business, mother. Oh, my God.
And the collateral damage. The collateral damage to the black community isn't even an afterthought for most of these selfish-ass black artists. Not just the rappers, the actors, the comedians, the dancers, the politicians. Nobody in the black community is concerned about the collateral damage that their decisions have.
No, they're just not doing what you want them to do.
Upon all of us.
I would love for you to give me a spiritual answer and stay in this space. That's why I keep going back to where
I give you a spiritual answer. Black America is under demonic possession. Did you see that Lee Daniels movie called
Deliverance?
Deliverance.
Yes.
Now let me say, when Deliverance first came on, I was about to turn it off. I said, this is not another Tyler Perry type of cast all imagery of black people in a negative light film. Because you had dysfunctional mother, snow bunny mom, dysfunctional daughter, everybody. I said, I'm turning this off. And then when I saw that it was based on a true story,
You're right. I
said, let me follow this.
Right.
In the whole
I know he's not a communist, but it's just he keeps pretending like people don't operate off trying to make money because he does it. And so for him to turn around and tell people to sacrifice every fucking thing for the sake of uplifting the black community, they're supposed to do that, but he won't do it himself.
story was about the children who got possessed, right? House in Ohio, I think it was. That's real.
Yeah.
I believe hip hop has been possessed by demonic entity. I believe the black church is possessed by demonic entity. I think snow bunny hoppers are possessed by demonic entity.
Why
I'm serious.
I hear you.
We are God's chosen people, and the job of the devil when it comes to God's chosen people is to convince us to turn our backs on our divinity. There are beings that we cannot see. There is evil surrounding all of us, Brother Nick. You know this. It's in the music industry. It's in the hip hop industry. It's in the conscious community.
For
we are
sure.
under demonic assault. We're not just
I
fighting.
don't believe in no demonic spirits and shit, but yeah, it's some evil shit going on with people.
The things we see, we're fighting beings that we cannot see.
Indeed.
We are under demonic attack. We are under demonic possession. Our addiction to materialism.
You just
our
always got to mention snow bunnies.
addiction
Let
to sex,
people fuck
our
who they
addiction
want,
to
bro.
Nonsense. All of this behavior is being driven by demons.
And as we know,
There's a demon for every sin.
the devil is just to devalue. And,
Yes.
and in that sense, and that's why I'm glad you're touching on that, because if the masses is in this lower demonic state,
Mhm.
how do we elevate in a spiritual sense?
Here's the thing. We can go to the spirituality, and we must. The problem, though, is it's going to be difficult to transform the people without transforming the
It's not demons, it's capitalism, right? It really is. It's not demons. It's and that's why I say with evil, like I don't like the idea that these artists get the short end of the stick for all the work that they do and the people at the top take all the benefits. That's not cool, and that's what it comes down to, capitalism. It's not about demonic demons and shit. Everybody is just moving to make money. That's everybody's moves is to make money. And you and along with a lot of other people are using their vehicles of making money to uplift the people around them. They can't save the entire black race. Not in one fell swoop. Like it's just not gonna work that way. That's why I said this is a bottom-up issue. You can't fix this issue from the top down.
The music and the images within their culture. What you hear and what you see is primary when it comes to conditioning the people. You feel me?
Mm.
If we don't change the movies, the images, and the music, it's gonna be hard to get our people back. Because sound and image is the language of the soul. That's how you condition everything in your mind is stored as an image. Pictures are powerful.
Yeah, I get it. Like there's a psychology to the type of content you consume. I get that and I agree, but it like that's they use that shit for marketing and placement in stores and shit like that, where they put certain products. All that shit is cool, but entertainment is supposed to be a release from real life. You putting all of this pressure on entertainment when the real force is the money and the history of black people coming to America. Like we have to fix that issue. The entertainment thing will follow once we fix the issues that we're having in real life. I don't look to music to help my condition. I don't play video games to help my condition. Well, I do play video games to make money on YouTube, but you get what I'm saying? Like the entertainment is just my escape from real life issues, which the entertainment didn't create my real life issues, and I don't think it's creating the other issues. I think social media is creating issues for younger people now, for sure, but that's not entertainment. Social media is a proxy for real life, which is why there's different issues younger kids are having now because of social media, because it's a proxy for what went on in real life. And real life is what's been hurting black people, not fucking rap music.
Motion pictures and still pictures. Music is powerful.
Mm.
Music is the language of the soul. So trying to save our people spiritually while they still listening to demonically possessed
Again,
music.
I don't think I'm on an island by myself when I say I could be blasting all the G Herbo, 50 Cent, Dirk, all that shit. I can listen to all that shit and not ever want to pick up a gun and use it illegally at any point. Like, I don't want to go spin no blocks for nobody, but I love that fucking music. I don't care. And no part of me wants to do that or ever thought about doing it for no fucking reason. And I've been listening to fucking real rap since I was 5. So it's just like, none of that shit phases me to the point where I gotta act it out. So I don't think that's just me. I think a lot of, and other people that do, they live that shit anyway. So the music didn't influence it. Their real life experiences had them resonate with the music, and they was doing it anyway, whether or not the music was gonna happen. Because the lifestyle came before the music did.
And watching demonically possessed movies, that's going to be difficult to do. We need another renaissance. We need a culture.
My mama, my OG grew up before rap existed. You know what I'm saying? My mother was an adult when hip hop came to be. You feel me? So the fact that she's seen gang activity before rap existed means all of this shit was going on before the music. So don't turn around and blame the music. Gang culture and life and shit happened before hip hop was invented, bro.
Renaissance. We need a cultural renaissance of positive music. We need a cultural
Drugs,
renaissance of
all
positive
that
movies.
shit.
We need a
Treating women bad, like derogatory, using women in derogatory ways. All this shit was before hip hop was created.
Cultural renaissance of positive books. Black America needs a cultural renaissance like the Harlem Renaissance of the 1920s. We need to regain control of our art and regain control of our culture, because hip hop ain't under our control. Hip hop is dominated by the Caucasians in the music industry. They run hip hop.
And that's the problem.
Decide what kind of music you're going to sell.
No, they don't. Now that I don't agree with. I don't agree that they agree. They dictate what's gonna sell is because they make it accessible, but the people create the music and people receive it and like it, and then they put their foot on it and take it, drag it onto their side, and then they distribute it. They don't tell them what to rate. Right? They don't write the music. These artists make the music they know gonna sell. The white people ain't the reason it's getting created. They just capitalize on it.
It's not ours. I believe that there can be a hip hop movement that confronts gangster rap and replaces it. I would like to see something like that. But I'm not even hearing anybody talk about that. KRS-One is doing a good job. He's doing the best that he can. He don't have enough help though. You know, let's just be honest. And I don't want to dump all this on the gangster rappers because it's Black America, period. Most Black people, I don't care what industry they're in, they might just drive the bus or work for the post office. Most Black people could care less about the collateral damage that their decisions have upon the community. We don't think about how what we do affects our own people.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Everybody else does. We don't. We are selfish.
Wow.
Selfishness. Demonic possession. We are under demonic possession. And one of the reasons we don't get the help from God that we want, God cannot help us as long as we are functioning in a degenerative state. God is not going to free Black people just so you can imitate white people. God is not going to free Black people just so you can imitate white people. Until we go back to being who we are, we'll never get divine assistance. You can forget that. Why would God help Black people destroy white supremacy just so we can replicate white supremacy? Doesn't make any sense. Go back to being who you're supposed to be.
Sure, Pan-African. Why are you even talking about God?
And the universe will help you. Otherwise, we're going to be trapped in this for the next 200 years. Our children's children will be having the same conversations we're having because we are not willing to sacrifice. Black people are scared of the word sacrifice, Brother Nick. We don't want to sacrifice money.
You won't sacrifice money either. You won't go on a show that has a smaller following unless they pay you. So stop with this bullshit. You won't sacrifice taking white people's money to build your school. Like, stop, bro.
Time, energy to get to where we want to be. Everything we've got through sacrifice. But we are no longer there. We are no longer there. That's why I always say before we have a war with white supremacy, we got to have a war within the Black community for who wants change and who don't. A lot of our people comfortable. They don't want no change. They like where they are. Cell phone, nice car, nice house. Police killing a Black person every week. That's just what we get. We don't care. That's fine. Let them kill. You know.
What the fuck are you talking about?
As long as they comfortable.
The whole country boycotted when George Floyd happened. Every state in this country had a protest. I'm talking about boycott. Protested. Every state in this country and other countries across the world had protests. What the fuck are you talking about?
Most Black people are fine with white supremacy as long as they are comfortable.
Well said.
I agree to some extent. Some people are like that. I think some people are like that. But I don't see white supremacy the way that some people do. Like, I agree that it's a thing, but I see it as a totally different concept. But yeah, I can't take Umar serious because, like, I even agree with some of his points early on, but like when he gets to talking about sacrificing money and all that shit, you're full of shit, bro. Because every move you make is financially incentivized. Like, I can't listen to you talk about people sacrificing, and you're not in the top 1%, but you're like in the top fucking 15% of wealth as far as black people. So I'm not really trying to hear none of that shit from somebody like you. You move to make money too. So for you to act like people that's making less money than you should be more at fault that for wanting to be selfish, go to hell. I'm not trying to hear that, bro.